In the last video, I showed you how to create an assignment from the calendar feature in the root menu. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an assignment in a module. So when you're on your course homepage for the course you want to create the assignment for, navigate to modules, and then select which module your assignment belongs in. So I'm going to create one in our sort of onboarding module. If you've already created the assignment, then you'll see it listed here in your assignments. If it's a new assignment, then you'll click on Create Assignment, and it's going to ask you to give it a name. I'm going to call this one Reading Inventory. Okay, I've got my assignment. I can choose whether or not I want to indent it, and then when I'm ready, I'll press Add Item. You'll notice the assignment that I created is now nested in the proper module. If I want to edit the assignment, remember this three-dot menu is misleading. Don't use the edit function because that will only let you edit the name. You have to actually click on the assignment itself. And then in here is where you're going to put the bulk of the assignment, the directions, things like that. Make sure you don't leave this blank, otherwise you'll get a default message that says no additional details were added for this assignment. We really want to make sure that anyone viewing a Canvas assignment has a clear sense of what the directions are and what the assignment entails by navigating to the assignment. So don't just pop a link in here or just put a document in here. You always want to give it some kind of context. Come up with a format that you're comfortable with and then just use it consistently when you're building your assignments. So for me, I always like to start with bold headers. And then I'm just going to paste in an old assignment from about 2 years ago. Okay, so these were the directions that I came up with a while ago. I like to color code my courses, so I always put my headers in our course color. This class for me is red. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this extra text that somehow came along. Okay. All right, so here I have very specific directions for my students. I'm linking them offsite to a Google form, but I'm still building the assignment in Canvas. Even though they're not completing it in Canvas, any assessment you have for the course should be added in the assignment section of Canvas. Even if it's a paper test you're giving, you can put it on the course calendar as an event. But you always want something in Canvas because remember, this is where your course lives and that's how your students help stay organized and on track for your course. All right, I'm actually going to list this as a no submission assignment. So I just want to change the directions to make sure that it matches. Okay, another thing that's pretty consistent with my formatting is that I always like to put the due date, which for this one we'll just make September 1. And then I always like to put the point value. I know this may seem redundant, but I'll show you why I do this at the end. This is 0 points, so I guess I'll just put 0 points. This is just like a get to know you survey, so it's really more for completion. Okay. I want to make sure that I have the corresponding point value in here. I can put it into the proper assignment group. And then from here, the display grade as function gives you some options. So here you can do it as a percentage that it'll display the grade as. You can do it as a letter grade. You can list it as not graded or as complete or incomplete. I'm actually going to go ahead and put this as complete incomplete because I want students who have the incomplete to eventually go in and complete it. I can choose whether or not I want this grade to count towards their final grade. In this case, I don't. So I'm going to click that. Then I'm going to select the submission type. For this assignment, it's a no submission. In the next video, I'll walk you through what the different submission types are and what your options are here. This is not a group assignment. If it was, though, I would check this box and then I could decide. I have already set up my Unit 1 groups. Doing group assignments is helpful in Canvas, but it's a little trickier. So I'll leave that for another video. If I wanted it peer reviewed, I would check here. Again, I'll leave that for another video. I don't sync my PowerSchool grades to, my Canvas grades to PowerSchool, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put my due dates in. So I want to make sure they match the instructions that I gave them. And I usually make my grades due at 8 a.m. going to manually adjust that. Otherwise, it will default to 11:59 p.m. Let me make sure I've hit everything that I want. Okay. So for this one, available from and until, if I choose an available from date, it means students won't have the option to submit for this assignment until a certain date. So if you're somebody who likes to front load your modules and put all the assignments in at the beginning, but you don't want students going and working early because there's content you need to teach, I would use the available from feature. The available until feature just means that once that date that you've set for the until has lapsed, students won't be able to submit to that assignment anymore. And the one thing I didn't show you that I wanted to in this video was submission attempts. So let's say this was an online submission. If I chose it as as anything basically other than on paper or no submission, then I'll get this option for submission attempts. How many times are you going to let students attempt to submit this particular assignment? Now, if you have freshmen, I would probably go for unlimited. When you're in the speed grader, the newest submission attempt will be the first one that pops up in speed grader. And then if you want to see earlier attempts, you would have to manually select them. If you've got older kids and you wanted to limit it, I would say always give them 2 shots at it. And the only reason I say this is because it's a pain in the neck to have to go in through the back door and delete a submission attempt when some kid inevitably submits a blank copy or something like that. So I don't know, I don't like to live dangerously. I don't give them the 1 attempt, but that's just sort of your management style and what you're willing to do. Okay, I'm gonna go back and choose no submission. And now I'm gonna save my assignment. Remember, students won't be able to see it until I actually go in and publish that assignment, but I just want to check and make sure that everything looks good. It's there in my module, and when I'm ready, I can always publish it directly in the module by pressing that little button on the right. If you have any questions, please let me know.